Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sporting160EN podcast. We're on episode 148. I've got a goat behind me and I've got a goat to my right and below. Firstly, introducing Danny Saldana. How are you today, man?
I'm good, bro. Chilling. Nice little day off. Sun's shining. Feeling great. And a good Sporting win and an exciting game coming up on the weekend. So, let's get into this.
Yeah, and if you want to follow Danny, there's his Twitter handle below. And last but certainly not least, we've got Chris. How are you today, man?
I'm great. Yeah, like Danny said, it's a real nice day here. Here in New Jersey. So I'm assuming it is there up in Toronto as well. Beautiful Thursday. Yeah, we've got another comfortable win at the weekend. Unfortunately, one of those two losses did not arrive yet again from our rival. And we've got derby of bragging rights, derby of maybe they're trying to get back in the race for second. We can really push them down into the mud. Guarantee second. Might even be mathematical at that point if we win this weekend. But yeah, let's get into it.
Yes, and I'm your host as always, Sam Fonseca. Feel free to follow us on Twitter. The handles were there. But first of all, let's get on to some of the Twitter questions. We've got some good ones, especially some topics that have happened recently. Nuno Gabriel has asked the question that I'm going to ask first. And it's this one here regarding the Slimani fallout. Do you believe is what happened to him a national team level, or was it a practice thing? Or he said he's more inclined to think his head isn't there because of what happened with his country. Algeria did get knocked out of qualifying for the World Cup. But Chris, I'll start with you. What were your overall thoughts on Slimani being excluded from training, and what do you think was the reason behind it?
At first I was like I don't know what I thought at first. I definitely at no point did I was I ever really thinking that he didn't deserve it. So I guess I'm kind of just instinctively backing Amorim, trusting Amorim. Like if he thought he acted like a dickhead, then I'm guessing he probably acted like a dickhead. Then I was reminded of a pretty similar incident, or at least similar on paper, with Mathieu. He didn't want to wear the GPS. Didn't want to do this, didn't want to do that. And that kind of led to a little rift between him and Amorim. And then literally right after that, he tore his ACL, and that was the end. So it never really played out, the end of that feud. I'm glad to see that he's back. He's reintegrated. It was just a kind of a brush up. He's got another year of contract. In my head, at least, I've been thinking he'll be here next season. So he's an elevated salary. I guess he's got to stick to the regimen or whatever. See if it happens again.
Yeah. Danny, did you have any thoughts about it? Did you think it was something to do with what happened to Algeria, or do you think it was just sort of a different attitude problem?
I think it's a training issue or an attitude problem, like you were saying. But I was gonna mention the same thing Chris just mentioned. He did the same with Mathieu, so I don't know if maybe it's experienced players that he still demands more from them in practice. Could be a lot of things, right? But he's back in training. That's all that matters, I guess. I'm just worried maybe it's a little bit of a distraction ahead of Benfica, but I don't think it will be, at least. So, seems like Amorim loves to do this to senior players. But I'm with Chris too. When I first heard of it, I was instinctively backing Amorim too. I wasn't really thinking like Amorim's in the wrong here or anything.
And then knowing what we know now, obviously Paulinho didn't start against Tondela, whether that's just nursing the ankle, whether that's just scheduled rest, whatever it is. Maybe he's like thinking, Paulinho's not starting and I'm still not starting this game. What the fuck? Maybe it's like that type of situation. That's my best guess, to be honest.
Yeah, fair. I don't think it was too big of a deal. You mentioned Mathieu, but I think Ristovski also comes to mind. I think his was different because he got yanked from the game before half time, but I believe he was Amorim wasn't impressed with his training anyway. I think he just demands a lot. And if you don't go up to the standards, then he's gonna make you know about it. Like this comment from Paul Pont just says, he puts his foot down, and I guess that's what you want with sort of a manager to not sort of let you get away with things, but to like be harsh and tell people like that. But yeah, Slimani back in training. The last question I wanted to ask about this topic really is there any chance that we were sort of like worked and this was all a plan to rest Slimani for Benfica? I know it was a theory going around. Chris, do you think so, or do you think it's just a training thing?
I don't think that they would make this up. But it does make the question.
Sense.
I mean, you can make the question, how did this get out? Like, how is this leaking? Like, record, bro. Dude, does someone work for Sporting and record? Like, they're literally receiving paycheck from both. Because, like, how does this story even get out in the first place? Record, bro. Inside sources, even more further inside than you would imagine, bro.
Unless they have like spectators training and like you'd see Slimani like go back into the building or leave the facility. I guess
some random like janitor sees this and then dials up record.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Getting that.
Slimani's agent could have very well have called.
Oh, true. It could be the agent because Slimani calls his agent. He gets kicked out of training. The first thing he does is call his agent, like, what the fuck? And then his agent tells Ricardo. That is actually a decent theory.
Could be, though. But the fact that it's
I don't really get how something like this.
Why didn't the ball?
Who else was it gonna be, bro? Who else was gonna have that inside exclusive?
Andre Igreja, maybe. Takes pictures for Ricardo on the side. We just don't know.
Yeah. Fair enough. The next question again from Nuno Gabriel. Considering the GOAT Matheus Reis is out for Sunday, who do you think should start in his place? He says he'd give Esteves a go at left back. Danny, what are your thoughts? Do you reckon we should? Who do you reckon should start, and who would you like to see start?
Yeah. First and foremost, let me just say I am nervous with us not playing Matheus Reis. Genuinely. Because that left side now is a little vulnerable. Question, though, I think he's not available yet, but Nuno Santos isn't available to play, correct?
He is. He's back.
He is. Okay. I'd have Nuno Santos on the left. Juicebox saying Vinagre. That's a little risky. That's crazy. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Fuck, he's here, right? But I would personally start Nuno Santos. Back three of Inácio, Neto, and Coates. And then obviously Poto on the right. You know what I wouldn't be shocked to see that I think is a high possibility of happening?
There's on the left, baby.
Yep. I have an inkling that that's what's going to happen. More defensive than Nuno Santos.
Is he gonna ride with Fidel? Do you think? No, it'll be Neto, Inácio, and Coates probably.
I think it's Neto. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're not playing Fidel enough so that we don't trigger the automatic.
No, the trigger is done.
Fidel is
There's
injured.
No chance
he's
now.
Injured as well. He hasn't done it in the last two training sessions.
Well, there's 5 games left, right? No, I think he needed to play in all 6, including this one, which he didn't play against. Tondela. So yeah, I think he can't be auto triggered. It's over.
Regardless, I wouldn't play Fidel anyways. Fidel's been practically injured all season. Though Amorim's thrown him into a lot of big games. There's no point. Neto has been phenomenal this season, in my opinion. So I'd throw them 3 in the back.
Yeah, especially against Benfica when Neto played that in that first match we played against them, he was absolutely immense. In place of Fidel, I believe Jose Master did get called up to training, so he's most likely to get the bench spot. If
he made the bench last weekend as well.
Yeah, still no debut for him though, which is odd. I feel like he'd get at least a few minutes here or there. But
it'll come by the end of this season, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if the games at the end aren't mathematically counting really for anything. We're too far from getting caught in third, but too far to catch first.
Yeah, Chris, who would you start at left back?
I would start Nuno Santos, but I think he's going to start Esgaio potentially. I think it's probably 60-40 between Esgaio and Santos.
Is Esgaio still our top assister? Sorry.
No, I was just going to say.
It's either him or Sarabia, maybe.
Yeah, it might be Sarabia, you're right.
No, I was just going to say about. I think if Nuno Santos starts, that he's definitely getting a red card. Yeah, but it's also like if you start Vinagre, it's going to be the same thing as Ajax, which is Rafa or Everton or whoever plays is going to absolutely skin him because Benfica's wingers are fast, and Vinagre is one. That's one thing he's not. Is very fast.
Yeah,
So.
Vinagre's also like really hot. He's played that one game, like 2 games ago. He came in, I think. Maybe he came in twice recently, but he's not like in any sort of rhythm whatsoever.
And I think Nuno Santos had a good game. I'm pretty sure it was against Guimarães or maybe a game before that. But
he's always going to be sussy defensively. But he does offer a lot going forward. He's coming off the 9.0, you know.
That's true.
Cool. Nuno's got one last question, but I'll save it for the next topic, which is the game against Tondela. 3-1 win. Let me zoom in the picture a bit. Okay, let's start with Adan in goal, Inacio, Coates, Neto, Pedro Porro, Matthews Reis, Matthews Nunes, Ugarte, Marcus Edwards, Pedro Gonzalez, and Sarabia. Sarabia with 2, Inacio with a rocket for the other, and a goal from Hernando for Tondela. Chris, what were your overall thoughts on the game?
It's actually pleasantly similar to 1 or 2 other games that we've played recently where we've actually just had like a really good 20-minute spell in the first half and pretty much resolved the game from there. It took a while to really get off the ground, but honestly with the Inacio bomba, and then right after that we had 3 other chances, and including the second goal as well, which was a Sarabia Pot Edwards, pretty nice combination. Beautiful. Yeah. And then we could have even had 1 or 2 more after that. Sarabia had a chance, if I recall. So yeah, I mean, we just had a flurry, took our chances, and we resolved the game. Tondela, again, never really looked a massive threat going forward at any point. They put together this or that here or there, scored off a set piece in the doldrums of the second half. But again, we're never really worried by them. Never really thought it was in doubt after 2-0 for sure. Yeah, I mean, I thought there were some good individual performances. I thought Edwards kept it going. Pot, again, showed some flashes. Not his greatest performance, but some decent moments. Got an assist, I guess, technically. And, Sarabia, just a machine at this point. All knew that already. Ugarte over Palinha, solidified. I guess we'll know for sure this weekend. If he starts Ugarte, I mean, Ugarte's his guy. We've already pretty much known Palinha's getting sold this summer, but, I mean, he's going out through the small door, not the big door, if you will. But yeah. Yeah,
cool. Danny, what were your overall thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I agree. The first half I thought a lot better than the second, but the second was more so just game controlling the game and leaving with the result. That first half we could have ended 3-4-0, and it only finished 2. I didn't know Inacio had that in his locker. Let me just say that. What a fucking goal. And then, yeah, as Chris mentioned, that second goal from Sarabia, beautiful work, build-up play with Edwards, Pot, and Sarabia. I would love to see this front 3 going forward as well for other games. I don't know if against Benfica would be appropriate, but games like these, like these Tondelas and stuff like that, even Gil Vicente, I know we have coming up soon too. Wouldn't mind having, tricky, pacey, interchangeable forwards rather than a stagnant, Slimani or Paulinho. So I liked it. I'm with you, Chris. I hate to admit it, I'm with you. I think Ugarte might be his guy. I don't know if I would rather Ugarte or Palinha this weekend. Honestly, my heart says Palinha. My head is telling me Ugarte is just, he's next level. We seen him last week come off the bench and change the result for us. So long may it continue. At least we know going forward we have a good center defensive mid. to pair. We'll see
I
if
guess
Matheus
coming
Nunes is
as
there or not.
an 83rd minute sub whenever we're up 1-0. That's
That
what
is
he's
insane.
become.
Who would have thought a few months ago that would be the case, man? Bragança, I have to mention Bragança. Maybe it's being on the bench for too long, not a lot of minutes under his legs, but haven't been impressed. And with more and more murmurs of him possibly leaving, with performances like that, I think it's a good possibility he will be, unfortunately, at least on a
Or
loan.
he'll just stay in the backup role again, and we'll go and buy some other center midfielder.
The thing is with me, I'm confused if we sell Matheus Nunes, I mean, we're definitely buying somebody to replace him. Right? It's not like we're keeping Bragança to take over his spot. I don't think so.
Yeah, Isugo will probably move up one, and then we'll buy one, and then Bragança stays as the backup for a starting Ugarte and purchased midfielder.
It's going to be the midfielder from Santa Clara, Morita, at this rate. Pretty much.
Oh, true, Morita too.
Yeah, it seems like
the worst kept secret in the league at the moment.
And the fact that he refused to play against Porto, I don't think we should even fucking buy him. Fuck that guy. I don't know what Nunu's question was. Does it have to do anything with the penalty?
It was with the Inacio goal. Let me get it back up.
Okay, then. I'll just mention the penalty. I personally think it's kind of harsh. The guy's arms are kind of behind them. I know it's like out and about, but they're behind them. He's just turning his body as it clips his arm. Clear handball, don't get me wrong. I don't know the rules per se that well, like word for word. But in my opinion, that's a harsh penalty. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I'm a bit 50-50. Again, I see a lot of these handballs all the time where it's like, it's not, and it is, because that's the referee in Portugal. It's so inconsistent. There's no sort of direct rule. It's just like, sometimes it's his hand. But like, I mean, I think I'm leaning more towards like 60-40 towards penalty. I'm not that overly convinced, but I would say so. Chris, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because it's a shot that's like on target potentially. That's what makes it. His arm's in an unnatural position, even though it is behind him. I lean penalty, but yeah, it is harsh. It ends the game effectively. You know, it makes it 2-0 and 3-0. Yeah. I'm glad that we're penalty merchants after it's all settled now. It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. But just to backtrack off what you guys said, like I pretty much hit it on the nail on the head. I was not threatened by Tondela at all. I thought I was saying this at the time that this was the perfect
time.
Come
to the stadium and had a very fucking difficult time in the past, and this was like the chillest it's maybe ever been.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. And I thought this was like a good chance to like trim the goal difference deficit we have on Porto. Like I thought we were going to get like 5, 6, 7. Unfortunately, it was only 3, but we definitely could have scored a lot more. And maybe that's without a presence of a striker not getting more goals. But I was really impressed with Edwards and Sarabia. Pot again, like you said, the assist, but I'm not overly convinced. I do think he starts Ugarte next game against Benfica only because he did it on the first match we had against them. I'm pretty sure Paulinho was available as well, but he might have been suspended, but he threw Ugarte in as well. And I think Ugarte was either man of the match or like one of the stand-up performers of it. Ray Vinagre cameo as well. Rodrigo Ribeiro came on and had like 3 touches. One of them he lost the ball. I think he was waiting for a good like 5 minutes to come on. He was standing by the side, and just the amount of time wasting and whatever happened. And unfortunately, he didn't get a lot of time. The only other sort of case I want to talk about is the Benfica player whose name I can't actually see. Thiago Dantas actually got suspended today for his actions. The only thing I just wanted to mention, and like if you guys have any other thoughts, feel free. But he was 3-1 down, and they scored, but they still 3-1 down, and like he's doing that celebration. Like if you're winning, right, or if he makes it 3-3. Then like I'm all for like the shithousery. Like I'm gonna be annoyed at him, but like it makes sense. Like they were losing 3-1, and he did that, and now he's missing a game for it and got a fine for it. So but I don't know if you guys have any other thoughts on that. I know it's quite minimal.
To me, it's 2 things with this kid. Okay, so we were the fans were chirping him. So okay, whatever. They score a goal. To me, if he was the one to score it, I kind of okay. I get it. You're giving it back to the fans, or maybe even assist it. But he was just. He was just there on the pitch, bro. Like watching the ball enter the box.
Did he cross it, or did he just take the corner, the short corner, and then the other guy crossed it?
Oh no, okay, I see an A there. So maybe he did assist it.
Yeah, he did.
But there's two guys, so he didn't take the corner. Then the guy takes the short corner to him
and passes
then
it to him, and then he whips it in. Okay,
Yeah.
Fair enough. But even
So
still,
it's an
exactly,
assist,
3-1 down. You have no chance of coming back, and you're giving the fans one, bro. He's honestly the most overrated, and he just shows that like the hype train, the media train behind the academy he came from is more powerful than any player's talents. You know, he's one of the many that flopped from there, and he's not going back to Benfica next year. He's gonna maybe stay at Tondela, maybe go to the second division because he barely gets a sniff at Tondela. He's like our Quaresma, to be fair.
Maybe he'll go back to Bayern.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with that kid as well. Like Tondela, Tondela are going to be more pissed with him than like, oh yeah, that's good. He showed passion because he's suspended, and like Tondela need to win games. Like, I don't think they're any like immediate danger of being relegated, but you want to win every game.
I think they're like a point or two ahead. Almost.
No, they are in immediate danger.
They're in a battle right now.
Let me check. I've not really looked that far down the league table, to be honest with you.
They are 2 points ahead of Moreirense. 25 points. They're in 16th. They're in the playoff. Exactly.
Oh, that. Okay, yeah, that's even worse for him then. So now they're in the playoffs and they're potentially missing him. I don't know if he's an important player. I don't watch much Tondela, to be honest with you.
And next game for Tondela is away to Moreirense, who's just below them, 2 points under. So a Moreirense win, and they're without Dantas. Bem feito, kid.
I see Ben sad, climbing the ranks a bit. I think they win like their last game and draw or something like that.
They lost to Benfica, but they won before that.
They won.
Yeah, they beat
Portugal to Benfica.
Yeah, they've been unbeaten until that game. They beat Portimonense, drew to Santa Clara, then Boavista, then Tondela. But hopefully they go down. I don't really care between Moreirense and Tondela, to be honest. I think Moreirense will go down there. I don't rate Sapinto that highly as a manager, unfortunately.
Add another relegation to his resume.
He's just not a good manager. It's like
Sorry, go.
No, I was gonna say if you sign him, then like you're almost like signing your Def Laurent to go down. Like in my opinion, anyway.
Nah, bro. I think he won the league with Anderlecht, and then next year got beaten up by their fans or some shit like that. I'm praying Tondela goes down. I don't care if Moreirense go down or not, but I just want Tondela to go down.
I still want Famalicão to go down, but I think it's past that point now. I mean, they're still what? 3? They're only 3 points behind, I think, or 4. So like, not.
It's a possibility, but I want Famalicão to stay. To me, in a perfect world, Bissau, obviously, Tondela, and Aroca. Because any team that signs Alan Ruiz deserves to go down.
Yeah, Aroca has really felt like a fake team this year, to be honest.
Cool. Before we move on, Chris, who was your man of the match for this game?
I think he's been my man of the match the last 2 or 3 games, but Sarabia.
Cool. Danny, who was your man of the match for this game?
I keep avoiding to give a man of the match just to be different, but I think we'll make it unanimous this time. I'm gonna go also with Sarabia. Guy's next level.
I mean, if Paulinho was playing, I would have gone for him. But I'll go for Sarabia as well. Although, shout out to Gonzalo Inacio with the absolute screamer, who I was not expecting that. I think we've seen the Paulinho banger sort of this year, which Chris was hoping for. I mean, I've seen a Paulinho banger, that's what I'm hoping for. Danny, have you got someone else waiting? We've seen a Matheus Reis bang. We've seen quite a few of them actually. I think we've
seen the Matheus Reis banger. That's all I needed, buddy.
We've had a Paulinho. It wasn't a banger because it wasn't like a power, but it was like a finesse shot from distance. In the Champions League.
Yeah,
but it wasn't like a thunderbolt,
Yeah, that and scoring against Benfica as well, and Porto. Big game player, Michael. Anyway,
what was the game? Sorry, what was the game where he backheeled it? Braga? No.
I can't actually remember.
Anyways.
I don't think he scored against Prague. I think that's one of the teams he didn't score against.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Anyway, let me get up the league table on this screen. Cool. So next game is against Benfica, obviously. I'll zoom in so you can see that a bit better. So Porto, again, 79 points. We're on 73, Benfica 64. So next game against Benfica. Danny, you mentioned you were nervous. What are your sort of predictions? Or can you elaborate first why you're so nervous and then give me a prediction of the game?
Matheus Reis just offers us so much more than anybody else, whether at left back or center back. To me, as I've said a few times here, I think he's the best left back we have. I think his best he offers us a lot more at left wing back than at center back. I think at center back we have Neto that can do just as good of a job, if not better. So Matheus Reis being gone, as crazy as it is, well, at this point it's no longer crazy to say. It's gonna be a lot for us, as we mentioned earlier. Nuno Santos isn't great defensively. Vinagre, I mean, I still have fucking nightmares of his performance against Ajax, and
I think he does too. To be
fair, I think he definitely does. He has PTSD from it.
Every time he blinks, he just sees Anthony in the corner.
He sees Anthony just chasing him, So yeah, I mean, that's the only reason why I'm nervous. Now, 9 points out. Benfica are going to play with everything. They just got somewhat of a result against Liverpool's B team, but they got a result, so they're going to come into as confident, hopefully a bit tired though. And they have to play. They have to play to somehow make second, right? 9 points out, they have to win and then still pray that Sporting slip up, right? So yeah, it's going to be a big game. It's also going to be on Easter. It's also going to be on my birthday and Kyle Aaron. Shout out to my Canadian legend. So I'm hoping for a good birthday gift. Don't get me wrong. I'm hoping Sporting can let me chirp these guys on my 27th year around the sun. But no Matheus Reis is huge. In my eyes, it's huge. And then whether we'll play Marcus Edwards or Pot, that's another debate that I struggle with. I don't know at this current moment with this form. Marcus Edwards, I think that's 2 back-to-back man of the matches, right? Or last week he didn't get one, but the week before I think he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I personally would play Marcus Edwards over Pot right this very second. But then, Marcus Edwards against tired legs of Benfica, I don't know. That also sounds good to me too. I don't think Benfica will be without Rafa, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So
he's a question mark at the moment. Okay.
So maybe they'll be with Rafa. Who knows? But
I think it's gonna be PSP to be honest.
PSP.
The classic.
I'm not mad at that though. I'm not mad at it. I think like I was saying, Marcus Edwards against tired legs will probably be good for us too. Because I see this being a tight game. I don't see us blowing them out like last time.
It never is. It never is. These games never are like that. Or 1 in every 20 is.
Yeah.
If you were to give a score prediction, though, Danny, what are you saying?
I don't want to give it. Not for this one. This is way too big for me to give a score prediction.
Yeah, you know what? Because it's your birthday coming up, I'll let it slide.
Respect,
I'll give you this one. But then whatever the score result is, especially if we win, I'll just say you had that one anyway, to give you that.
Thanks,
Chris, as it's not your birthday, I'm afraid you're going to have to give a score prediction.
1-0. 1-0. Kawat's 78th minute header off a corner.
Nice.
Are you nervous about this game at all, or is it just
Not particularly. I think both teams are in decent enough form right now. Obviously, Benfica's coming off a nice performance. They've, been decent in the league as well. Same with Sporting. These games are always tight. They'll be up for it. Should be a good atmosphere. I think that I'm not particularly nervous. I'm also not even particularly nervous. Let's just say if we draw, it ends the glimmer. It ends the 1% of our title hope that we have right now. But at the end of the day, it basically just secures second. even if we lose, to be honest, Benfica still has a lot to do, but it does, like show a crack in our armor, potentially. You don't want to lose this game. I feel
especially at home.
Last year we lost this game on the road. It was like the third to last game. We've lost this game. We've played them late in the season multiple times recently. It feels like, and lost multiple times. So yeah, let's beat them in a late season game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite nervous because, as you know, for the optimist, I still think we can win the league. I genuinely thought Porto were going to slip up against Guimarães, and they were so close at some points to doing that. There was just some. I'm not even going to. Porto were just a better team, in my opinion. Anyway, I know there was a few bias calls as there always seems to be, but I'm more nervous for this game just because of how not even good form, but I think Benfica have been such good goal scoring form, especially Darwin has been scoring every other game. It feels like the only thing that gives me confidence is how bad their centre backs are, especially from set pieces, like Chris says. He wants a Coates goal. It's probably the most likely one I see happening because their defenders just can't mark set pieces. But my friend who's a Benfica fan was saying that he actually wants to lose this game. So Porto don't win the title at Toulouse, because that would be a bigger nightmare for them, apparently, than they're losing to us, which is fair enough. So hopefully they'll do us a favour there. But I think it's going to be. I disagree with Danny. I think it's going to be a high scoring game, or not high scoring, but I would say. No, actually, I'm going to say 3-2 to us. I think it's going to be one of them games that the first half there's goals galore. I'm going to say 4 goals in the first half. Then they just ban it out for the end. I'm going to go 3-2. Darwin twice for them. I'm going to go Paulinho once for us. Sarabia once for us. And then the 92nd minute, Islam Slimani. He loves scoring against Benfica. And then he'll probably do some stupid gesture to the camera, to Ruben Amorim or something, to say why'd you drop me or something. Who knows? But yeah, that's my prediction. But yeah, I think that's it in terms of
one time what's his name? Nelson Oliver, not Ricardo Oliver. Nelson Oliver scored a goal for Nottingham Forest. Took his jersey off and holding it up in his manager's face because he had dropped him. Yeah, let's hope he does that.
I think Aaron would demote him to the B team immediately. But yeah, in case you're wondering, Porto's next game is against Porto B or Portimonense. So not really a struggle.
Easy dub.
They also have 2 wins this second round of this season. So
yeah, you can see they're on a 4-game losing streak.
Hell yeah.
I mean, if the impossible happens, but this is where Porto are going to score another 5. Portimonense, no chance. But speaking of high scoring, unfortunately, it's that time that we move on to the UEFA Youth League. I don't know if any of you guys watched the game when it happened. Unfortunately, I watched the whole 90 minutes. But
how was it?
Yeah, it was a waste of 90 minutes. We were outclassed straight away. Chico Lamba, man. I don't think he's got.
Did Diego Calai play in goal? Or was
yeah.
He ended up playing because I thought he might be hurt or something.
I mean, none of the goals are really his fault, but you can't really say he had a good game when he conceded 4.
Mm-hmm.
Probably should have been a lot more, to be fair, as well. But did any of you guys watch it?
No, I wasn't able to.
No, I've caught the goals though.
Yeah, so we basically
Ronaldo, Selly, on us.
Yeah. The first goal as well, straight out to the Juve Ultras and shushing them and take some balls. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But some players you might recognise, Esteves and Sugo Rodrigo. I think Rodrigo Rivera played as well, although we didn't have that many attacks, so didn't do much. But yeah, I mean, definitely embarrassment. I think I remember seeing Esteves and another player in tears because there was an absolute humiliation. Let's not lie about it and say it wasn't, especially in such a important game. I think it was the semi-finals, right, of the Youth League, not the quarters.
I think quarters. I think the semis are next.
Quarters, yeah.
Benfica are moving to the semis.
quarterfinal game, like to lose that much as well is just a bit of a kick in the teeth. But like, hopefully there were some 18 players there. Porro was watching from the bench. I think
Andre Paulo.
Was it? Andre Paulo, and I think someone else was there, but I can't
Mateus
remember.
Nunes, I think.
Yeah,
that was it. And also Amorim and Hugo Viana were there as well. So hopefully, gives them a bit more motivation to slap Benfica around. The main thing that annoyed me at 3-0, they were olaying their Benfica players passing the ball around the back. I had to turn it off. I couldn't deal with it.
So Sam, let me ask then. After this game, of course, it's only one game, but do you see it as like Benfica's academy just being better than ours, or they were just better on the day? Like, do you see it as like their talent was just like nothing we can compete with, or it's just a bad day at the office?
I'm not going to lie to you. I've always thought that, especially recently, that Benfica have had the better academy talents. I think that's not a knock on any of ours, but you have to remember, like Esteves, who's like one of the big prospects, didn't come from our academy, come from Porto's. And like Dario Sugo is one, Rodrigo Rivera is another, but I don't really see any others that I look at, especially after that game, was like, man, I can't see you having a future with this team. I think Benfica, like the youngsters, their attacking players especially, are just a level above. And even like the thing is with Benfica, and let's not turn this into like a Benfica podcast, or whatever, but they would do so much better if they like got rid of Vertonghen and Otamendi and used their young defenders, or stop playing like Rafa or even Pizzi in January and got some of these youngsters in. Give them some burn. Like this. Their season was over like by February. Give the youngsters some burn. But yeah, for me, I think it's always just been that Benfica has had the better youth set up, and especially recently. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't see many Sporting players making the jump from the under-19s. I don't know if you've seen any games this season, Chris. Do you have any?
If they were good enough to make the jump, they would have already made it.
Yeah, I agree.
And Amorim entertains them still, the ones that he thinks have the most talent. But it's like, Vando Felix, for example. Like, is Vando Felix ever going to play on the Sporting first team? He's 20 years old. He's on the B team. He was in the second division last year. He's a higher prospect on the B team. It's like, is he ever actually going to play on the first team? His best case scenario is to be like the fifth string one season. He gets like into the roster, and he's like primarily with the first team. But it's just like, I don't know. I feel like there's just a lot of guys there that don't really have a future. There's guys that are going to be coming back from loans. Anthony Walker, Bruno Paz. Do any of these guys have a future anywhere? It's like, I don't know. There's like a million guys, guys that will have futures elsewhere in the Primera Liga and the Segunda Liga, but just do they have a future here for what we're trying to do? Build a perennial Champions League team? I really don't think so,
Yeah, and that's why I think maybe Amorim is going to like the Porto like youth team to get some players in, just because he doesn't see a lot of talent in ours. And Porto, like Vitinha recently, Fabio Vieira making that jump, but before then, no one really came up apart from the Conceição kid. But like, I think
that's Sporting, bro. He came from our academy.
Yeah,
Chico came from our academy.
Like youngster appearances in general for Porto.
No, I'm kidding.
I see.
Yeah.
I didn't actually know that he came from our academy, to be fair. So, but anyway, I think that's it on youth league. It was embarrassing. Not much to talk about after. Chris, do you have any loose ends that you want to get out?
Yeah, I just took some random notes. I don't think we did it last week, so we'll run through some of the ones we didn't catch last week. This was a funny one. It ties into later on. Camacho did sit down to Deltarat in the second minute for his first goal contribution of the season. He's had 5 straight appearances for BSAD for 5 straight games. Most of them are subs, like 20, 15, 12. But he has played in 5 games now. He got a start, got an assist. His salary is going to rise to $1.6 million next season.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's signs of life from Camacho late, but
I think he was also due like $600K if we made to the quarterfinals of Liverpool was due $600K. So.
Yes. Yeah, Liverpool was due money. Yep, for a Camacho achievement.
That's horrific.
We did not trigger that. Trincão, it was rumored a couple weeks ago. It seems like it's going to be difficult. They want him in the Traore swap, so we'll see. Inacio renewed. I don't know if we got that in the last pod. 100K to 250K, added another year. Luis Felipe has scored a few goals in Greece. I don't know if for anyone that's been tracking that. He has like 4 and 8 or something like that. Not horrible. Couple PKs to be fair, but keeping an eye on him. Jovan not going to be triggered by Lazio. I think he had like a games objective, which can't be hit. And I don't think they're going to take up the option themselves. Fidel won't be renewed. We know he's not going to hit his objectives. Almeria, some other Spanish clubs looking at him. Might come back to Sporting on a new deal. Seems like he's most likely going to go back to Spain, if I had to guess. Fatawu Isahaku from Ghanaian Prodigy officially signed, which is massive. He's been training with the first team a lot the past week, so yeah, he's infinitely higher touted prospect than any of those guys that are regularly in the B team. There was a report that Sporting was willing to spend 8 to 10 million to bring in a luxury center back, so worth tracking. It could be Saint Just, the Mainz center back, who's been rumored. Sporting's been linked to him, willing to offer 7.5. Mainz wants 10. Maybe somewhere they meet in the middle, 8, 9, something like that. That would fit in the 8 to 10 range of luxury center back. So he hasn't played for like 2/3 of this season. He had a shoulder injury, but he's very fast. Apparently, he's the fastest defender in the Bundesliga.
He used to
keep an eye on that.
He used to be a right back when he used to play for either Feyenoord or
pull a deadline day move to Botafogo, but ended up not doing that. Botafogo did do some deadline day shopping in Portugal. They bought like 2 or 3 players from Portugal on deadline day. Tabata was not one of them, though, opting to stay in Europe. Newcastle sending scouts to watch Inacio still. Slimani, striker of the month. Mateus Reis, defender of the month. 2 straight defenders of the month for Mateus Reis from the league. Some individual honors there. And
is it 2 straight for Slimani as well?
Sporting player news that I managed to catch just randomly this week. Miguel Veloso extended for another year at Hellas Verona. So if you were a Miguel Veloso head and you're thinking maybe his deal runs out, comes back to Sporting, you're going to have to wait at least another year.
I don't think anybody thought that, bro.
For ligaments in his knee. So Labiad, who is out of contract with Ajax, is available, but has a torn ACL.
It'd be a good pickup for Tondela or something. Bissad in the 2nd division.
Yeah.
Cool. I wanted to comment on this one quickly. I mean, I get your point, but Paulinho is like 25, 26, and he really made his name at Braga before he made a name at us. Matheus Nunes come from Estoril, so that doesn't count. Nuno Mendes and Inacio I'll give you. But Benfica just have a lot of good players in their academy. I know the last big player was Felix, but they've got some special
that striker kid, what's his name? Ramos. What's his first name?
Gonzalo Ramos. Yeah,
he's a good striker. I'm a big fan of him. We'll see what that Paulo Bernardo guy, whatever his name is, if he ever gets any burn.
I like their 2 centre backs as well. I think it's Morato and Arujo.
Yeah, Arujo's nice. I like Arujo too.
Yeah, but yeah, not shit on our academy too much. But
they also have a really good right back. His name is Andre Almeida. Phenomenal young talent.
Do you know he's only like 31? But I mean, he looks like 40.
He looks like he's 38. He looks like he's 38. So.
But when did we get Nunes? I think 19, 20?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Just before Amorim came in.
He came from Brazil before that too,
Yeah. But anyway, Chris, do you have any modalities that you want to go through as well?
Oh yeah, I've got some modalities. Basketball's fucked.
Yep.
0-3
Short
to
and sweet.
0-3 to start the second round of the championship. Lost to Benfica, lost to Oliverense. Now we just lost to Porto. Those are the three best teams in the league that aren't us. So we've just lost to all of them. Yeah, we need Trevante back, and we need more reinforcements that we won't get this season desperately. So okay, did he come through the Estoril system?
Yeah, because he's been in Portugal for more than 5 years. That's how he got the nationality, citizenship.
Did he play for a local club before Estoril? And then
He did. He played for. I'm gonna search it up right now. Like it starts with an E.
Eighty students or something.
Yeah,
yeah.
But it only shows since on transfer market at least. It only shows since 2018. So, but he's been a Sporting player since 2019. Sorry, he was sold to Estoril in 2018. So, okay. 3-4 years at the club.
Futsal Final Four is coming up. We're playing ACACS, which is Ricardinho's team, who got in because the Russian team got disqualified. So we could play, and then we play the winner of this game plays Barcelona Benfica on the other side. B team lost to Oliveira the Hospital 1-0. Handball 35-25 win versus Boa Ora. Rugby, Portuguese Cup champions. Men's and women's swimming, both Portuguese champions for the first time ever in the same season. Shout out swimming. And volleyball forced to game 5. I don't think it's happened yet against Fonte Postardo to face Benfica in the final. And then hockey, playing something called the Golden Cup right now. We lost our first game to Barcelona 4-1, and then we beat Saint Omer 3-0 in the second game.
Cool. I think that's all we have today, unless you two can figure anything off the top of your head.
Can I just bring up something crazy that I just found out as I'm on transfer market? Do you guys remember Umaro Balde, who left Sporting to go to Rangers?
Yes.
I don't know if you remember that back in 2018, 2019. Bro, I just found out randomly on transfer market, this guy now plays in the Canadian Premier League. Not MLS, but a league that just appeared out of nowhere like 3 years ago.
Really?
That is insane to me. My guy left Sporting because he was going to be a big shit at fucking Rangers just to play at Pacific FC right now. Not on loan either.
Another player of the same name.
Sorry?
I think so, yeah.
There's another Umaro Balde, right? Who played for Benfica or plays?
He's still there.
Yes. He's still there, yeah.
Okay.
That's the one I initially thought it was, but I realize now it's the Sporting kid.
Well, he's only 19, this kid.
I know, and now he's playing at the fucking Canadian Premier League. That's crazy. Sorry, I had to bring that up because since we were talking about our academy, I remember being pissed off that this guy decided to join Rangers. That's crazy.
Cool. Chris, you got any other topics, or is that it?
I mean, the only thing I tweeted it. It was like one of these like random things that gets trending like over the course of the day. Everyone was shitting on Alvalade, and I'm gonna say, I tried to tweet it out. Version 1, version 2, and version 3. If you conflate version 1 and version 2, you're being dishonest. So yes, version 1 is fucked. Version 1 is an abomination. But version 2 is a big improvement. Once the yellow is gone, it changes a lot. So people are like, oh, I can't believe we had this. It's like, bro, you're posting a picture of what the stadium looked like in 2008. Like, yeah, it was shitty in 2008, but it's like, I don't know. I fucking, like, 60% of these, like, random things that get trending just, like, piss me off for a random reason. And, yeah, that was, like, one of them. But yes,
Yeah.
obviously the green fucking chairs look better than the rainbow. But the rainbow, it is highlighted how shitty it is when it's accented with yellow, bright yellow. You know.
Maybe unpopular opinion here. I think now with the green seats, like the stairs could be yellow or white. I prefer white personally, but not green. I think
Some people really hate
green.
the lime green steps with the green seats, but yeah, I agree. I don't think it looks that bad.
It's not that bad, but I wouldn't mind the yellow now, or preferably like the best I think would be white or black.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like cement color, like a light.
Or
yeah,
great, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I seen that beef on Twitter that you were having with fucking the stadium, bro. Insane.
I hate the rainbow seats a lot less than a lot of people do. And to be honest, like, people fucking forget for years in there, we're getting 12,000. It's not like we're fucking killing it now. We're getting 28,000 for average games, right? We went through stretches there where we would get like 12, 14, 16. The rainbow seats made it look fuller. Like, it fucking did. That's what the point of it is. And it did its job. Especially when TVs weren't all 100% HD. You're watching the Portuguese channel in 2008 on like a mediocre-ish cable feed. The rainbow seats filled it out. Sorry, it did. But we're past that now. We're a club that doesn't need to artificially enhance our attendance figures. Hopefully, not even artificially enhance them, but just like artificially like enhance what they look like on TV.
And plus, like, for people who are in the seats anyway, you couldn't actually see the seats, just see the fans in the seats. Like, I mean, it didn't really bother me too much. But, like, I guess when it looked empty, it looked a bit weird. But, like, it wasn't like a massive bother to me. But it definitely looks nicer now. But, cool. I think that's all we have time for today. Thank you all for joining us again. We're close to episode 150, 2 more episodes. Yeah. Hopefully next week we can come back and say that we beat Benfica and the title race is still on. Hopefully Porto drop points.
3 points off, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be the ideal weekend, but
at least a draw.
But yeah, 150. Hopefully we get Steph and Nando on. Get the original squad back together. And hopefully we have some special guests as well to be decided. But thank you all for joining us today. If you want to follow Danny, you can follow him down there. Same with Chris down here and me as well. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, Sporting160_EN, Soundcloud as well. I think we're pretty much on all podcast sites, iTunes as well. So feel free to give us a follow. Other than that, peace.